Today I fucked up by accidentally eating my wife's twin sister's ass. So my wife's twin sister moved in with us 6 months ago after leaving her husband. Initially it was weird because they're identical, but my wife's sister, I'll refer to her as Jen, cut her hair off, making it easier to tell them apart because they love to dress alike and be silly. Fast forward 6 months and we're all real comfortable around each other. They both snuggle up with me during movies on the couch, we eat off each other's plates, etc. Well, I guess I got a little too comfortable when I assumed I could eat the last Shrek Donkey Chocolate Crispy treat on the counter. Little did I know it was a gift from someone Jen was super close to who had passed a week ago, and it was a whole 20-year-old inside joke, and now everyone is pissed at me and I have diarrhea. Too long did not read. Ate ass, got sick. Wife and twin sister aren't speaking to me. We're all pissed that we got deceived, but never would have believed that you accidentally ate your wife's twin sister's actual ass. Never have I been so relieved to have been deceived. Sheesh. I'd be lying if I said I wasn't initially lost as fuck. They had us in the first half, I'm not gonna lie. I love you and I hate you. Well, there's only one way to make it up to her. GIF. Giphy, RDBJC VASV WFKGVZYW, downsized. This man should write novels with plot twists this strong. TIFU, by jizzing in a mask. Alright. Obligatory 5 months ago. We all have this moment where we're going to think about some stuff, then the next second we're playing with the joystick. And then mid-fight you realize you used up all your toilet paper, tissue in your room. Adapt. Improvise. Overcome. I see an old mask lying on my desk and decide its destiny is to be the graveyard for my unborn children. The deed is done and the mask actually did an impressive job collecting the liquid. Not soggy or anything. Anyway, the house is full and I don't want to do the walk of shame to throw the mask in the garbage. I crumble the mask up and put it in the pocket of my jacket, to throw it away discreetly later. I forgot about it and a week later I'm on my way to work. I'm standing on the train station and realize I haven't got a mask on me. Because of COVID, restrictions are pretty hard and you can't travel without a mask. I panic and fumble in my pockets, then breath out of relief when I seem to grab a mask. Well, my relief turned into horror when I remembered. The mask was all crumbled up and crusty when I opened it. The train was coming and I realized I had to make a choice. The doors opened and at first I went in without the mask, but the train was full with people and all wore a mask. Some of them looked at me and I felt nervous because fines are pretty high. I grabbed the mask and slowly put it on, but not fully, so it only covered my mouth, and with my finger I held the upper part of the mask so it wouldn't touch my nose. I stayed like this for 20 minutes when this hellride finally ended. Too long did not read. Came in my mask. Put it in my jacket, forgot about it and was forced to use it on a train ride. My takeaway for you is, don't put the mask you jizzed on in your pocket. Throw it away immediately. Don't be dumb. Edit. To clear some things up. No, I don't have a garbage can in my room. I'm pretty clean so I don't throw much away. And I couldn't turn the mask inside out because the crusted up jizz was yellowish. No, I did not piss in my mask. Well, at least it wasn't someone else's mask. This is the third jizz related I've seen today. Stop jizzing in everyday objects. Takeaway from this: don't jizz in your mask to begin with. You're the second person I've seen post about this on this sub. Perhaps you two could meet up and form a support group. That's fucking disgusting. Throw your jizz rags out. Describe the smell of mask jizz for us. Who spaffs into anything and then puts it in their pocket for later? Why the fuck did you put a cum-covered mask in your pocket and not the bin? Today I fucked up by accidentally renaming a government national tracker. This was a few weeks ago, but I've only just emotionally recovered enough to post. I work in a government department and we have to input certain information, statistics into a national tracker. Said tracker has always been called the Big Boy Tracker on my desktop, because working for the government isn't always fun and little things make me laugh. My shortcut to the tracker corrupted and had to be re-downloaded, so, naturally, I renamed it, the Big Boy Tracker. Little did I know that I hadn't just renamed my tracker but I had nationally renamed it. So, for about 10 minutes, Boris Johnson and the 95,000+ government employees in my department had a shortcut on their desktops named, the Big Boy Tracker. Big shout out to my colleague who saw his shortcut had been renamed and rushed to my assistance, tears of joy. Too long did not read. I accidentally changed the name of a government file that 95,000+ people used to the Big Boy Tracker. I worked closely with the IT team at another job. I needed them to do a tracking tool for me called Facilities and Accommodations Request Tracking System. Farts. Yeah. That got changed pretty quick, but all the mock-ups and test environment always showed farts and my services calls as well. It was internal to my team only, so we just laughed it off. But the IT team had funny names for most of their programs. I recall, duct tape was another one, because it fixed everything, even had the logo. Lol. We used to have a program called Dildo. The programmer who wrote it hated a certain manager. The programmer couldn't be fired because he and the program was essential to the work we were doing. The job was very specialized and finding another programmer who understood the maths involved was impossible at the time. He was a bit of a hero to us lower employees. When you started the program it displayed, "Welcome to Dildo," a full brain emulation of you-know-who. It was common to have conversations like, "How do you do this thing to this kind of data file?" "Oh, just use option 69 in Dildo." Meanwhile, Andre 3000's whereabouts remain unknown. Our company called us as because our company initials were PH, so fit. Then with a merger with another company, our initials became Shish. Shish IT lived on behind the scenes for years though. Someone give a technically believable explanation. That is unfortunate, my dude. When London Fire Brigade first put networked PCs into all fire stations in the 90s, the project was set up with the name Wide Area Networks, Computers on Fire Stations. The acronym WANCOFS didn't last long, got changed to COFSWAN, but is still fondly remembered. GIF, emote, free_emotes_pack, joy. A few years ago I discovered renaming a pinned quick access folder actually renamed the network folder. I did this on a user's computer when setting them up with this folder pinned to quick access. They asked if it could be renamed, so I renamed it. Whoops, suddenly everyone couldn't access it anymore from their original shortcuts. Today I fucked up by raising a bully. This literally happened 3 hours ago and I feel kind of bad. I have a 2-year-old son and I'd like to think I'm doing my damn best to raise him with good morals and ethics, and mostly it shows. He is a pretty rad kid and says sorry and please and thank you in the correct context without being prompted. And to be honest, I don't even know where he learnt that because I'm a bit slack on manners myself. For context, a few months ago we were on a trip with another family and my son was playing at the beach and he was digging and building sandcastles with another girl who is around 8 years old, and they had a fun little game where she would build a sand castle and encourage him to stomp on it, and then she'd have this big dramatic reaction and my son would laugh and thought it was great. I also thought it was great because he can be a pretty timid kid and sometimes it takes him a long time to build up the courage to play with others. So it was a fun holiday. That was a nice memory of him playing with a new friend. Life is good. Until this morning, when I was at the beach with my son and he was running around with some friends and there was a little girl nearby building sandcastles with her grandfather, and I could see how much pride they were taking in the sandcastles, and they were decorated with shells and the granddad was loving the bonding time with his granddaughter. That was until my son ran over and stomped on her sandcastles and I could tell they were pretty upset. And then my son proceeded to laugh in her face. I was mortified and ran over and apologized, and they were wonderfully polite, but I could feel them judging me and they were probably wondering what kind of parent has raised this heartless little wench. So I tried to explain to my son that it wasn't okay, and he was like, whatever, I'm gonna go run with my friends again, and the granddad and the little girl went back to rebuilding the sandcastles, and then my son tried to stomp on them again. After that, the little girl started digging holes instead and my son left them alone. Too long did not read. My son thought stomping on a little girl's sandcastles and laughing in her face was a fun game, and now I feel like a terrible parent. Cause and effect. It was a fun game the first time. He assumed it would be fun the second. All that you need to teach him here is about being invited to play a game. Don't stress so much. That's not a bully. That's a confused toddler. You're fine. Hello, teacher here. I don't think your son is a bully. I think this incident is a time to teach him consent and help him understand that not all group of friends have the same way of having fun together. At this stage, kids have a hard time differentiating things, so the community has to help him understand. He's a child and he will learn. You're doing well also as a parent, and your efforts will pay off. Your son is going to do well, he just needs to learn. I have 2 toddlers who love pretty dresses, sparkly shoes and wrestling. It's fine when they're at home. I don't mind a little rough housing, but unfortunately they now think this is what every little kid does, and I often have to dive in before a kid gets ambushed. It's all part of the learning process. Trust me, there's plenty more where that came from haha. Not a fuck-up. Your 2-year-old is being a 2-year-old. I know this story is supposed to be lighthearted, but I just wanted mention, pretty sure you know this, you can't label your 2-year-old son a bully after making the stomping appropriate in the first place. It was positively reinforced because he gained attention, or the reaction from the girl, when he stomped. You haven't yet taught him that the stomping is only okay in that situation and that it's not acceptable in other situations. Again, I know this was probably supposed to be a light, warm story about your son, so I just wanted to say this is not at all a foo. And just remember he has a lot more to learn about social situations. I think you're probably doing the best you possibly can to raise him, so don't put too much blame on yourself. Real talk. 2-year-olds are assholes. 3-year-olds are huge assholes. 4 and 5 are pretty cool, etc., etc. The rest of their childhood pretty much goes like that. Your kid is going to do things that horrify you for the rest of your life together. You might as well get used to it and learn not to freak out over little stuff. If he's still an asshole at 4, you should probably start to worry. Good luck. Doesn't seem like you effed up, but more just like your son assumed stomping on sandcastles was okay. He's only 2, it's definitely correctable behavior.